welcome to another Friday episode of How Many Tabs Are Open on Mr. Johnson's Computer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 tabs. Today is an asynchronous Friday, so yeah. You have more time to work on your stuff today. Hooray. All right, so let's go ahead and open up today's math assignment. It's going to be some order of operations review. So first off, we're going to talk about our review of order of operations, and then we're going to try and figure out what's going on with these two expressions. All right, remember, first of all, expressions are math problems with no equal sign. As you can see, there is no equal sign on either one of these, so they are expressions. If they had an equal sign, they would be an equation. All right, so let's go ahead and open up the OneNote, because the first thing we need to review is our order of operations. And this is going to come into a lot of handy next week and for the rest of your life. So make sure that you are aware of the order of operations. Remember, the phrase is Boone practices math always. All right, BPMA. So the first thing that you're looking for when you solve a problem is, are there any brackets? Then if there are no brackets or you finish the brackets, then you look for parentheses. After that, you can multiply and divide from left to right. So all your multiplication and division has to happen before the next step from left to right. And the next step is add and subtract. So remember, you cannot add and subtract before you multiply and divide unless there's parentheses or brackets. So BPMA, look for brackets, then look for parentheses, then multiplication, division is the next step, and then addition and subtraction is the next step after that. Remember, in the future, you'll either get PEMDAS, which is parentheses, exponents, which you don't see in 5th grade, and then it's multiply, divide, add, subtract. Another one you might see is gamma. So this one is grouping symbols, which means like parentheses or brackets. Exponents, once again, which you won't see. Multiplication and division, and then add and subtract. So this right here, BPMA, is going to be your 5th grade order of operations, and this is like your middle school and beyond order of operations, PEMDAS or GAMMA. All right, so just remember, Boone practices math always, so we're going to go ahead and give ourselves that reminder once again on the side of the page. This time I'm just going to draw it. And then let's go ahead and figure out what our expressions were. So we had 2. And be careful when you copy this stuff down, because if you forget a grouping symbol, it might change your answer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy everything down just the way I saw it. All right, so I have 2, and then I have an open bracket, and then I have 4 times, then I have in parentheses, 3 minus 1. I messed that one up. See how I go back and check just to make sure? All right, and then close parentheses, close bracket. Cool. On this side, we have 4. And then we have times. We have parentheses, 3 minus 1, close parentheses. All right, so we're going to solve both of these so we can figure out what the difference is. All right, so let's go ahead and put our bracket goggles on before I stab myself in the eye with this pencil and put it down. So put your bracket goggles on. All right, bracket goggles are on. Do you see brackets? All right, I see brackets on the problem on the left. So let's go ahead and just solve the problem on the left to begin with. So I see brackets. Okay, I have my bracket goggles on. What's the next thing that I see on my list? So I'm looking at brackets, and then the next thing, do I see parentheses inside those brackets? Yeah, so that's what I need to do first. So the first thing I'm going to do is what's in parentheses inside brackets. All right, I can't do this multiplication division stuff until the parentheses and the brackets are gone. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 3 minus 1, which is 2. All right, and then since I did the problem inside the parentheses kind of fall off. All right, so now what I'm left with is 2 open bracket, 4 times the answer to 3 minus 2, and then close bracket. So do you see how I copied everything down that I didn't use? That's what these little arrows stand for. So 2 got copied down, the brackets got copied down, 4 got copied down, the multiplication symbol got copied down, and then the answer to 3 minus 1 got copied down, and then the close bracket. So now I'm looking at 2 bracket, 4 times 2, close bracket. So still got my bracket goggles on. Do I still have brackets? Yeah. So I have to finish what's inside the brackets first. Now, the interesting part about this is we do not have any kind of symbol for an operation between our 2 and our parentheses. All right? What that means is I can't get or 2 in the bracket. What that means is I can't get rid of the bracket. Once I get the answer to 4 times 2, I have to keep the bracket. If I got rid of the bracket, it would just look like 28, right? So remember, when you have a number next to a number in grouping symbols, so either brackets or parentheses. So if you have a number sitting next to a number in brackets or parentheses, that always means multiply. All right, so 2, oops, 2 next to an 8 in a bracket is the same thing as 2 times 8. All right, these are exactly the same. Here's another thing that looks exactly the same. That is also 2 times 8. All right, so anytime, just like when we did snowmen with finding common denominators with fractions, a parentheses around a number next to another number with no symbol, no multiplication symbol, no addition symbol, no subtraction symbol, no division symbol, that means multiply. So this is a new way to look at multiplication, and you'll see this through middle school, high school, college. All right, you just will see a number kind of up against a number inside parentheses or brackets, that means multiply. So this is 2 times 8, so the answer is 16. There's our snow cone of awesomeness. Um, and we have an answer, all right? So the answer to this one is 16. Now let's take a look at this one, all right? So let's go ahead and put on our bracket goggles. Do you see any brackets? I don't either. Yeet them. Okay. Parentheses goggles. I do see parentheses. So I need to get rid of what's inside parentheses. So this one's going to be like a little bit different. When I do 3 minus 1, I do have a symbol right there. So when I do 3 minus 1, I can get rid of these parentheses. If there was no multiplication symbol right there, if it just looked like this, which is the same exact problem. These two problems are exactly the same. When I do 3 minus 1 to get 2, I'm going to keep the parentheses. You can keep the parentheses here, but it's a little redundant. Redundant means like you're doing the same thing over and over. This, you don't need the multiplication symbol to still know that that's multiplication, because 4 next to a 2 inside parentheses is indeed 4 times 2. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to copy down what we're not using, and then 3 minus 1 equals 2. All right, so we did what's inside parentheses. Now, next thing we do, multiplication and division. That's all we have left. So 4 times 2 is 8. There we go. There's our snow cone of awesomeness. All right, so order of operations. If you follow it, you'll get the answer right every time, as long as you do the calculations correctly. But remember, look for your brackets. Solve what's in brackets. Look for parentheses. Solve what's in parentheses. Look for multiplication, division. Do those. Look for addition, subtraction. Do those last. If you have a number that's next to a number in brackets or parentheses, that means the same thing as a multiplication sign. So 5 times 3 can also look like 5 times 3, can also look like 5 times 3. Sometime next year, you might even see 5 times 3. Yeah, a dot can mean multiplication too if it's in between the two numbers and not a decimal point. So there's a lot of ways to multiply that you'll see in the future. These are just a couple of the ways, and so they're going to kind of show them to you while the numbers are more simple. So let's go ahead and go back to our discussion. Remember, use all 4 of the stems to get full credit. And so first thing I noticed these 2 problems will definitely have different answers, because one of these is going to be 2 groups of the answer, and one of these is just going to give me the answer by itself. I can tell that there's going to be 2 times the answer because everything, like basically this problem is inside the brackets right here, right? So we're going to have two groups of the answer to this. On this side, we will only have the answer to this. So they're the same because they do contain the same part of the expression, 4 times open parentheses 3 minus 1 close parentheses. That does exist on both expressions. However, they're different because on the left side, you're going to go ahead and multiply your answer by 2 because we're saying 2 times whatever the answer to what's inside brackets is over here. Over here, we only have one group. Basically, if we put brackets around this problem and then wrote a 2 in front, we'd have the same problem, right? We'd have two groups of 4 times open parentheses 3 minus 1 close parentheses. But over here, we do not have two groups. We just have one. So things I wonder, could I have used brackets over here instead of parentheses? Yeah, you could have. Brackets and parentheses are grouping symbols. They mean the same thing. Other things, could I have reversed the brackets and parentheses on this side? Usually the brackets go on the outside. So you'll usually see the brackets on the outside. That's why the bracket step comes first in BPMA. So I wonder if gamma will be something I see in 6th grade. Like, remember we talked about the order of operations for middle schools and high schools, PEMDAS and gamma. There's a lot of things that you can talk about in the discussion. I hope that the order of operations stuff is making sense. Next week, we're going to introduce using the order of operations with letters that represent an unknown value. So kind of like pre-algebra concepts. So that'll be fun. So good luck with today's stuff. It is asynchronous, so if you need your teacher's help, just reach out to them on Blend. They might be in their Zoom right now, but just make sure. And we're around. Just reach out to us. We have meetings and stuff today. So I think that's it. So I hope y'all have success today. I hope that everything's going well. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. And like and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow, or see you Monday. All right. Bye.